biological medicine technologies. And it's different than the naturopathy. I don't have much respect for the standard way anyway. There's very good naturopaths. But I don't have a lot of respect for the standard way that naturopaths are practicing today. Because, for one, if anybody thinks that supplement companies do not own Bastyr, Southwestern, all the naturopathic schools, as much as Big Pharma owns from our Ivy League down allopathic schools, you're crazy. Because that's exactly what's going on. And actually, supplement companies can actually get away with even more in providing grants and pushing their version of things, to get their supplements pushed through, exposed to those students, because most of them don't even have real clinical trials. They all say, "Oh, it's too expensive." We don't make that much money off our supplements, which is bullshit. So, and also like a lot of, I know of naturopaths that private label things, okay? And some of them have really good sales abilities, right? So they buy the most rock gut shit, and then they private label it. And this stuff has magnesium stearate. It has titanium dioxide. I was flown out to Arizona a couple of years ago. A patient of mine that came in for alcohol in Costa Rica, cleared her addiction, found the man of her dreams, got pregnant, and said, "Genita, fly out. We want to hire you to green the home and to take care of my pregnancy." I go out there. She'd already seen a naturopath, right? This is what just chips away at the naturopathic thing these days for me. And the doctor had given her, doctor of naturopathy, had given her a pregnancy multivitamin that had titanium dioxide in it as a stabilizer. Okay, look up titanium, not on the pissed off hippie website that I own and operate. Look up titanium dioxide on the government's MSDS toxicology reports, right? Every chemical that's unleashed supposedly has to have one, and the government keeps a database of all of them, right? Look it up. What does it say? It's linked to reproductive disorders. Okay, why? Why do they not look at these things? In fact, I won a high achievement award. I didn't apply. I didn't even know it was coming my way. But I won a high achievement award from the Board of Naturopathic Medicine in 2014. So I called them and I said, okay, well, for one, the convention was in Vegas. Okay, does Vegas need another freaking convention, for one? And I asked them, I said, why don't we go to Boulder, or why don't we go somewhere that's green and where a lot of people to stimulate the green economy with our convention, right? And no answer, right? No, they probably never thought about that. How your choices and what you buy actually promote the core ethics that you're using for your health. What a concept, considering your dollar as, your vote, because, our votes don't matter. Anybody who thinks differently, you're crazy too. Our vote does not matter in the United States anymore, okay? All those things, those beautiful things that the Masons that founded this country did, in documenting and putting together a true democracy, went to hell a long time ago. Long time ago. Your vote doesn't matter. You know how you vote? Every time you spend your money. That's how you vote, okay? The only way you're going to be able to take the power away from the beings and systems that are destroying this planet and our health is by shifting how you spend your money. So anyway, so then I said, well, what do you guys, so this is back to the convention people. So then I'm like, okay, so what are you guys serving? What are we eating? I always got to check that out, right? Because I don't cut corners, I'm 100% organic. And she said, well, there's vegetarian and chicken. And I'm like, but where's the food coming? It's organic. No, it's hotel food. It's a naturopathic convention eating tortured animals, pesticides, and GMOs. Yeah. All right, come on. And I said, look, you know what? I support, I'll, pay, because I think I already paid anyway to go. And I said, well, I'm not going to go because I can't eat, and I'm not, and I'm not going to support something like that. It's against my core values. So I said, so they sent me my trophy. Anyway, so So that's the deal between naturopathy and allopathy, and I don't agree with the way it's being practiced. Also, it's not the whole medical model on both sides is wrong because, you can't. It gives people the notion, the idea. She's going too fast. Oh, is that magnesium? Oh, okay. It gives people the idea that you can go to a doctor's office and get a pill because they use their natural pills as happily as doctors use their allopathic other pills, because but it gives people the notion that they can go to a doctor for an hour a month or an hour a week and get some suggestions and some pills, and that's going to fix them. Nobody spends enough time, and also there's a lot of urban legends out there with people that were started, from people with, by people with these acronyms behind their name, and then everybody just regurgitates the same incorrect philosophies for diet and such. So where does that take us? That takes us to biological medicine. That was practiced. Biological medicine was practiced before Big Pharma took over standards of care, and by the way, like Hippocrates and all the great healers of our time always had a place where people went into a full-time healing event, unplugged from the environment and everything that was tearing them down, and learned. I mean, Hippocrates had plays, had drama, had entertainment, had the arts on his property. There was a lot that was going on there. People just know the sayings of Hippocrates. If you study how he practiced medicine, it would blow you away. But anyway, it was a full engulfment, total immersion into the natural living. And also, through the arts and music and everything, that's how they approached more than counseling. That's what they use: light, music, sound, to tickle people's energetic levels and fix them there. So and that's why, by the way, I do not allow any head stuff here at all. People get in their way with their heads. Their heads are their problem most of the time, and I don't think that you can counsel them out of it, effectively. I don't. That's my thing. A lot of people disagree with me, especially counselors. But there's only one way, one right way of doing things. If you're not doing it the right way 100%, you're doing it wrong, okay? There's no decision about it. You're going to suffer if you don't do what I tell you to do, because I didn't make this stuff up. I am simply representing God and nature, what I consider God and nature, okay? But you can't, you do the wrong thing, you become symptomatic, and then that decreases your quality of life. So, but the reason why I don't have any of it at my clinic anymore is because the more people get in their heads and talk about the problems and recreate them, and it is cycle, they're actually victimizing themselves. They're making themselves, they are torturing themselves constantly, because every time you replay that memory, that thought in your head, you're completing a circuit that makes it alive, happening to you in your biochemistry. Like, for instance, stress. When, people will stress, you'll get a bad email, and stress, your heart will start racing. You go into fight or flight fight or flight syndrome from this bad email, as if a tiger was chasing you. But no tiger's chasing you. Your life is not in danger from that email. But you will respond as if it is. You can actually envision a tiger chasing you in your head. And if you're good at visioning, like people with trauma in their past are good at recreating it, In fact, they recreate it so well in their head that they recreate it in their lives. But you can actually create the biochemistry of fight or flight just by the same way you can just by thinking about a tiger chasing you. Okay, you can recreate the biochemistry. That's damaging your health. So every time you play this circuit, what you need to do, what I've seen huge successes with is what I call forward forward training, like training in the alchemy of manifesting your life. See, everything is enslavement, okay? The governments and everything have your education is a slave's education, okay? You go to school to get a job. That's a slave's education. I was so happy when my daughter decided to go to major in art at UCSC. because that's not a slave's education. You are guaranteed no money. But what do you get to do? You get to explore yourself. You get to, create highest visions of yourself. You get to experience the world as a creator, because you're constant. Like you were made in God's image. What is God? A creator, right? You're a creator. You create the lives you live. You do. So why not hone the skills of being a creator and leave the past where it belongs, in the past, So, and just carry a gun. Anybody hurt you again, you just shoot them. They're low on lead, That's how we take care of things in the country. That's how we take care of things in the country. We don't have any problems. I was born in Bloomington, Indiana, and I tell you, we don't have people breaking in our houses. We don't have boys raping our daughters. You know why? Because grandma shows up with a sawed off, in a bad mood. Hangover and grandma, you don't want to mess with. So, and in fact, in communities like that, you don't even want a bad reputation, because you'll be looked at every time something goes wrong. So, we have a thing, I'm sure you've heard about it, but it's true, your reputation goes with you, So, it's the hardest thing to earn and the easiest thing to lose, a good reputation. So anyway, what I go along with as a scientist, what I do is try and, articulate to people why they have to move and live aligned with nature, okay? Because you can't adulterate a 3 million year relationship, at least 3 million years. If you go along my kind of train of thinking, then it's a lot longer. But, I'll go along with the common, what they're putting out there in the common education systems, and that's about 3 million years that the cells have been using this nature to develop into humans, okay? And you try and improve on that, you try and manipulate it, you live against it, and you will become symptomatic, okay? Feet on the ground in the morning. You connect with that, and you'll find your purpose in life. And then it's really important to be moving your arms and legs per your now coherent brain and heart energies, okay? That's what causes discord and stress in people's lives. They're going to jobs they hate. They're totally against their spiritual values. They're doing all kinds of things that they hate, and it causes discord, So, and then that discord is outpictured in your body as, as disease. So anyway, so I'm getting really, really good at of course, detoxifying the body. I mean, these things, you can't get better than what you're getting here. You cannot get better. And you can't get a better delivery system of all day long, every day. You see, it's a full-time job getting unhealthy. So you can best believe it's a full-time job getting healthy. And if you're not ready to show up for work, you're not going to get healthy. It's bottom line. I didn't make this stuff up. I really didn't, I'm just talking truth. I'm just talking what I've seen in 20 years of being in clinical practice, what works and what doesn't work. And because I do labs, I know. See, I have proof. Not just you feeling good. That's subjective, okay? That's subjective, and that's great. Hey, great. I'm glad you feel good. So I'm getting really, really good at delivering those two things. Energy, like NAD, is rocket fuel for the mitochondria. So much healing goes on so fast. That's the two things that we need. We need energy, okay, and we need raw materials. Both of which, by the way, the dark side is taking away every single day. Toxic foods, GMOs, they're mutating. GMOs, genetically modified organisms, mutate you, okay? They mutate you. They mutate your DNA. That's a fact, okay? And they're also causing, come on, BT corn makes its own pesticide, right? Nobody gets this far, gets here, has to come here, spend a ton of money to come here. Nobody shows up with a healthy gut here. Nobody. All right, so first thing that goes today, it's your toxic landfill. That's your relationship with planet Earth, and all of your weaknesses show up in your diet. So anyway, so this BT corn, the pesticide that they use actually is designed to rupture the gut of the worm that they're trying to kill on the corn, right? That's what it's designed to, rupture the gut, right? what have we experienced since BT corn has been out? You know, since I think, well, how long has it been out? Since late 80s, I think. But anyway, leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome, the long list of gut disorders, you know, and you know, and I'm sure it exacerbates, if not, can sometimes be the cause of autism. You know, we got lots of contributors for that one. So so anyway, so you can just be assured that there is, you know, in fact, I've always said that I really think that doctors make up different names for diseases for market share, so they know who needs to go to who. Because you know, if you wise up soon enough, which I think everybody here has, but you know, you really got to be in bad shape to not have time. But you know, you use this kind of technology because, you see, I don't heal these. You know, for one, drugs do not heal, they mask. They mask. You know, heart medication is the #1 prescribed and the #1 cause of death with people on these drugs is heart disease, right? So, what was I going to say about the market share? And I forget. But anyway, there is an underlying cause of disease, and that is oxidative stress, okay? Fragmentation of the divine design, okay? There's a divine design that we were all born with, except save less than 1%. And you know what? Less than 1% of people on psych drugs need to be on them. You know that? A neurosurgeon, neurologist said this, and he's got a lot of people who agree with him, you know, highly educated, you know, neurosurgeons and such agree with him. Less than 1% of mental illness is actually organic in nature. There's actually a problem with your brain tissue that you cannot do things. The rest of it is diet and lifestyle and toxic exposures and such. And don't think for a second it starts here, because it doesn't. This is the alarm system. This here is the alarm system. Your brain is nothing more than a slave to your heart, and it's an alarm system. More information goes from your heart to your brain than your brain to your heart. Okay? Tell me, people. Okay, you're in a relationship you can't stand, right? Doesn't your brain goes back and forth all day long. Oh, look at he's so cute reading that book on the couch, you know? And then, you know, by that night he's an asshole, right? But you know, you stay in this range of the brain going back and forth. I want to leave, I don't want to leave, I want to leave, I don't want to leave. But the minute your heart is out, there's no going back. No going back. No go. That's why I think that counseling is really useless too. You know, families, the nuclear family, you know, in community and society is fragmenting as well. The microcosm mirrors the macrocosm. You know, it's fragmenting. Everything's fragmenting within our bodies, in our communities, and outward. The planet. Branches uses heart math now for de-stressing and finding your heart's and really harnessing the energy of the heart and building coherence here, because it's a disconnect between here and here. You know, not living your life per your strongest desires, that creates stress. That's what creates the stress. The circumstances in your life that prove that you're not doing that, that's what you always, you know, it's always external. Oh, that he's pissing me out, this and that. No, it's actually in here, okay? And you're just picking out those circumstances and blaming them. Because I'll tell you, when this is aligned, you could have bombs dropping in your backyard, you could care less, you're happy. When this is aligned. Oh, okay, the microbiome. So, you know, mostly, see, what's hardest for people when they leave here is sticking to the diet, okay? So that's why I chose, of all my videos and slides and this and that, the gut one, because I really got to help you guys understand why. You know, if you understand why, you're more likely to follow through, okay? So, you know, so that's what we're going to accomplish today, and then I'm going to go over your program materials. So your GI is an ecosystem made of various viruses, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and it's just basically a city of critters, okay? Trillions of them, all right? Antibiotics, tap water, the VOCs in tap water, chemicals in food, kill those the healthy critters, okay? When you kill the critters, especially antibiotics, when you kill the critters, you're basically just wiping out any hope for health, because they really run the show. They really do. So, and what happens is the healthy critters, it's like, just think of a society, like look at the United States going down the shitter right now. You know why? Because dumb and bad people are more and more and more in charge, because the government's educating everybody with TVs and bullshit. Nobody reads books anymore. Nobody, and they've been in slave educations when they go to school, believing every single little drop they want to put out there. I mean, come on, Rumsfeld owns the bird flu virus vaccinations. How do you think we got the scare when 2 people got it? They sold millions of bird flu vaccines. So it's all bullshit. So, but anyway, so you look at, just think of your gut like a community of people. You got a bunch of bad people. They're gonna win over the good people, and all the good things happening that those good people could be accomplishing in their lives is not going to happen because the bad people are robbing them, raping their kids, and killing them. Okay. So that's basically the same thing that's happening in your gut when you have a diseased gut. It's just no hope for health, because it's there. In fact, there's a lot of vitamins that you're supposed to make in your gut that you're not making when you don't have the healthy. It's also the reason why so many people are getting fatter and fatter and fatter, despite how much they work out and how few calories they eat. Seriously, that it's across the board. Okay, that's why there's obesogens in your food. There's even a word for them now. Obesogens. They are endocrine disruptors that disrupt your insulin, leptin values in the blood, and cause the body to make it impossible to burn fat. Okay, that's why people are hungry all the time too. They eat and they're hungry an hour later. All right, because your body's not digesting; it's storing. Okay, when it's not digesting, it's storing, and and also see your colon. They think, because this is how far how much they don't know about the body. Doctors don't. They're not. I have Stanford educated doctors in my family. The holidays were really fun for me when Grandma was still around hosting them. We'd go around and around and around. One of them, John, he actually got his education at Stanford. Poor guy, died at 52. The year he and I went around and around and around about colon cancer, and he died at one Thanksgiving, and he died of colon cancer at 52. 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Poor guy. Doctor. And he had all the best of what medicine could give him over in Santa Cruz. He worked out of Dominican, and So anyway, where was I? So the gut is where it's at, and everything today is destroying the gut. Everything, stress. People have immense amounts of stress. Going to psychiatrists actually destroys the gut. You replay all this stuff in your head, and it really does hurt the gut. So, and also, a lot of intelligence is in the gut, and I really do think people are getting dumber and dumber as their guts. Well, they're relying on TV for information, but in their perspectives. But the more and more disease your gut gets, your intuitive base is right here. You know that saying, it's a gut feeling. Yeah, well, your intuition actually rests in this auric channel here, and people aren't following that. That's one of the reasons why I think I got so good at what I do. Is I could care less what people think. Look at what humans are doing to the planet. I could care less what they say, what they think. It was easy for me to get through school. I didn't have to study. I made sure I didn't have to study, but I really just did it. I really went for the acronyms behind my name for you guys, not for me. I don't even use them. The stuff that I learned in school, I don't even use. They don't teach this stuff in school. They don't. So anyway, and I think it's because I've always followed what I believed and never interrupted, not for a day. Didn't follow what I believed, and that was always my gut. My gut. I think we were made, because every cell in your body has a survival mechanism. It's designed to repair and replicate. You have to fuck it up. You have to disease the environment to kill your cells. That's what you have to do that. Cells don't know how to die. They're designed to repair and replicate. So if every cell of my body is designed to repair and replicate, then my conscious should know what to do in any given circumstance. Because I'm a collective, my consciousness is a collective consciousness of every cell in my body. So I trust that I'll know the right thing to do. All right, so the microbiome, that's what you guys are getting while you're here. You're getting a microbiome transplant, I call it. So what I'm doing with this, what you're doing, the reason why I've selected exactly what you're getting here is I'm just killing it, the bad guys. I'm replenishing it with a lot of probiotic stuff. That's why we have fermented food and the probiotics that you take in the morning and things like that. I'm starving them out. And there's actually a slide coming up, but I'll just skip over it when I get there. Here's the deal. People eat too much. They eat too much. The first thing I tell people, it just pisses me off when people, the first thing, and most of the time when I'm lecturing, these people are driving, there's Lexuses in the parking lot, and then they want to complain about organic food costing more. Seriously. Which vehicle you want to take care of? This one or the one sitting in the parking lot, If I had to choose, which I have had to in the past, if I had to choose, I would drive a Volkswagen and take care of this. I like feeling good during the day. I have very high expectations. I like feeling good. And I will do what it will take to feel good. That's why I don't have to do drugs to numb anything, to block anything out, because I do the right things to feel good, and you don't need to do other things. So anyway, you're supposed to not eat 4 to 6 hours in between meals, okay? And the reason for that is one, the body has stages, okay? First, the simple carbs will, just because they're easy to digest, they go right to your head. If you don't have insulin resistance, but most people have insulin resistance, which will also cause you to eat more than you need to eat, because your brain is the one that makes you eat. It makes you hungry, makes you eat, because the brain says when it goes low on sugar, it starts sending out the signals to eat because it thinks it has to keep you alive. So it takes itself very seriously. so it's going to send out signals to eat, okay? So if you have any kind of insulin resistance, which you will not leave here with, you'll notice that food will actually satiate you again. You don't have to eat all day long. But anyway, so you're supposed to go 4 to 6 hours in between meals, because first there's the simple carbs, then the complex carbs, then it plays around with proteins. Actually, those are more building blocks. And then about 2 to 3 hours after a meal, you start burning fat for fuel. And you're supposed to feel really good while you're doing that. Also, all the resistant starches and soluble starches that get to your gut, they get to the colon, the undigestible stuff, actually is fermented, which the fermentation process releases small chain fatty acids, which are also used for energy, okay? So you're supposed to have the energy, be good at least 4 to 6 hours. Also, once all that's taken care of and you're emptied out, you have what's called, the body goes through a natural cleansing wave. Nobody allows themselves, and by the way, you feel really good. All you have to do is go 4 to 6 hours in between meals, and you will find that your energy goes through the roof. Through the roof. It's a simple fix, really is, for chronic fatigue. It's a simple fix. And it also helps clean the gut out, because what happens is the body has a natural cleansing wave. Very intelligent system we have here. You know what it does? During the cleansing wave, when you're completely emptied out, it starts eating all the garbage. Okay? It starts, little scavengers go out and just start eating all the junk, all the garbage. Okay? So that's really good. All right? And it's funny, it knows the difference between muscle tissue, organ tissue. It doesn't touch those, It goes after the garbage first. Okay? If you go past the garbage, if you don't have any more garbage in your body, then it'll go through the things you want to keep, okay? But, look at Doc Child did it for 3 years, he lived on water and sunlight. So, you can actually train the body to actually build protein machine with sunlight. It can be done. So, it's been proven by many, 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 many people. So anyway, I starved them out. We killed them, starved them, and put in the good guys, because when you put in the good guys with the fermented foods and probiotics and such, those start helping to manage the bad guys out. Okay? So the beneficial bacteria. Okay, or good bacteria is that population of bacteria that supplies you with critical vitamins, helps destroy pathogens, keeps the immune system healthy, maintains healthy muscular activity required for healthy digestion, motility. Drugs stop motility. Okay, everybody on any, especially like the sleep aids and the painkillers, I'm telling you, it just because it's a muscle, it's soft tissue, it's autonomic nervous system stuff, and when you shunt that, your gut's not doing this like it's supposed to, and then it gets lazy like any other muscle that you don't use, you know. So that's a huge problem because now you're going to start building up stuff in your colon, which sets you up for colon cancer, IBS, IBD, all of them, Crohn's disease, all of them. So weight and metabolism by extracting energy and calories from the food we eat and preparing them for proper utilization. So harmful bacteria. And you know, they say harmful, good, harmful. Well, the good is good, but that's a dichotomy that's not really true, okay? But like the sympathetic nervous system, when your sympathetic nervous system dominant, you know, they call it bad because that'll give you anxiety, you know, insomnia, things like that. But really, if it wasn't for your sympathetic nervous system, you wouldn't be able to breathe. So, I mean, it's just anything out of balance is bad. Okay, anything out of balance. Parasympathetic nervous system can be bad too. You know, there's, you know, people that can't get off the couch. They're parasympathetic nervous system dominant. It's rare in this day and age, unless you're on drugs, you know, to cause it. You know, like any kind of like anxiolytics or things like that. That or chronic, you know, chronic fatigue is an example of that. But it's, you know, more so these days the sympathetic nervous system that's going out. Anyway, the harmful bacteria is that which causes metabolic disorders. You know, I can trace back, if I felt like wasting my time, I could trace back in each and every one of you a biochemical, an actual chemical pathway for each one of your symptoms to your gut. I could trace it back to your gut. Okay? Harmful or bad bacteria is that which causes metabolic disorders, chronic fatigue syndrome, metabolic syndrome, insulin and leptin resistance, high cholesterol, visceral fat, etc. Weight loss, gain, hormone deficiency and imbalance, mental health symptoms, all of them, inflammation, heartburn, malabsorption, etc. And every gut disease you can develop, including leaky gut syndrome, IBS, IBD, bacterial dysbiosis, diverticulitis, all of them. So, you know, it's just more important than anything is eating right. It really is. Exercise, eating right. It's the simple stuff. And, you know, that's why one of the reasons why naturopathy is really pissing me, you know, well, not pissing me, I have to care to get pissed off, but it's just missing the mark because not enough emphasis. You see, you don't make a lot of money when people come and you just talk to them about the diet and make them do things that they don't want to do. Everybody wants a pill and they serve that psychology, you know. Everybody wants a pill for something, you know, and really it's about making the right choices daily, every day. Every day. No shortcuts. The laws of health are not negotiable. They just simply are not. And also, I like saying you got to look at symptoms differently too. I like symptoms. You know, I look at symptoms as a good thing. In fact, when people start getting symptomatic around here, I like it. I actually like it because it means I'm making change. It means that there's change going on. You know, because you know you're going to push out before you get better. You're going to push out before you get better. Things are going to get pissed off in there because they've made a nice little comfy home for themselves. You know. So, and it's very hard to detox on the body. It's very hard on the body to detox. So, you know, the symptoms are your friend, really, like, you know, I mean, think about it. Do you really want to live a life that you never get a symptom and know when things are going wrong so you have an opportunity to fix it? You know, you want an opportunity to fix it, and that's what symptoms are. So then you make some changes, you know, and then once the symptoms start going away, you know you're doing the right thing, and then one day they disappear. You do the right thing long enough. That's how, you know, it works. So bacteroidetes versus firmicutes. So a high percentage of people diagnosed with mental health issues demonstrate up to 20%, and this means depression. It means all of them, okay? All of them. It's a direct connect. The gut has more to do with your mental health than your brain does. Far more. Your neuroendocrine system has much more to do than your brain does. The brain is a reporting system, okay? And your perspective is your master pharmacist, you know? Your perspective is your master pharmacist. That's why it's really good to surround yourself with healthy, fun, lofty people that are progressing, evolving in life, you know? People make choices for you know, to be comfortable and secure, and that will depress you if those, you know, people that are providing, that are in your zone are depressing, you know, because it comes at a cost, you know. A lot of women stay in unhealthy marriages. A lot of men stay in unhealthy marriages. I have a dear friend going through a divorce right now, but you know, they stay, you know, it's a cost. They're unhappy in the marriage, you know. So, and in the end, you pay, you know. I'd rather live in a simple house than a pretty house and be happy. You know, it's just, that's, you know, money can't buy happiness, and people seem to think it does. But once you get comfortable, then people got to think, oh shit, you know, I got to make, and people don't like change, you know. I got to make change, you know. But my bliss is my compass. What makes me happy is what I do every day.
Amen.
What?
Amen.
Yeah. I'm a junkie. I'm a bliss junkie.
The most unhappiest person I ever knew was a multimillionaire.
Yeah. I know a lot of them. A lot of them. So low bacteroidetes allow lipopolysaccharides, LPS, to be released into the blood, causing inflammation, mental health issues, inflammatory model of mental illness, and weight gain. You know, you have to understand, and the brain actually has its own immune system with its own set of inflammatory cytokines. And so once that engages, until you get rid of it, it's not going to change. Because the brain is a very, very tight network, very dense network of capillaries. And if you're not getting a good supply of blood and oxygen in there, that's your degenerative disease. Look at all the things people are doing to their bodies that causes inflammation, you know. So it's the impetus of all of them. Firmicutes extract more calories from food and deposit them as fat. Bacteroidetes feed on soluble fibers such as inulin, resistant starch, and FOS, fructooligosaccharides. And when fed properly, these little critters can be your best friends, causing some remarkable changes in bacterial mix of the colon that lead to energy and excellent health. You know, one of those small-chain fatty acids is butyrate. And, you know, the doctor in Texas, Dr. Brzezinski, that is just hammered on yearly by the FDA. And they really, they haven't killed him. They haven't done anything because he's so high profile. But, you know, he's gone, I think, now to 2 Supreme Court hearings. And because the FDA keeps trying to put him out of business, and he's always got like over 200 people that had brain cancer. His specialty is brain cancer. Had brain cancer, but you know, cancer is his thing, and that sit there and tell the judges that, and look at, you know, if it wasn't for this guy, I wouldn't be alive today. He's extremely successful with cancer, and the reason why, you know what he uses? Phenylbutyrate. This is where brain cancer comes from. I know this hits home for you. I'm sorry. it's part of. I'm not doing it for you. It's actually part of the lecture. But it's through the colon is your second brain, and when the colon is sick and diseased, and you're not going to be, because butyrate, the small chain fatty acid, is your #1 defense against cancer in the body. But the brain, see what happens when you have a diseased colon? No motility from the drugs that you're on. You know, all these things that develop and bioaccumulate. John Wayne had 35 pounds of impacted fecal matter in him. And big surprise, he died of cancer. So, but see, here's the deal. You have an artery that wraps around your colon, as well as huge networks of veins. You know what they're doing? They're sitting there trying to extract the small chain fatty acids, which they also use for energy. The body uses it. That's your reserve tank. When your colon's working, you don't get hungry in 2 hours, okay? When the colon is working, you don't get hungry in 2 hours because that's your reserve tank. That's what makes it the last, and it's supposed to be used as food, but when it can't be used as food, it's not going to work. You know, you're going to get hungry because you don't have energy, and the brain's like, hey, you want to breathe? Feed me. So, but it's really a false hunger, okay, for many reasons. But But anyway, so yeah, so you're not making the small. If your gut isn't properly fermenting these resistant starches and inulins and such, you're not making small chain fatty acids, and that's where your protection against cancer goes. And then you have an acidic system because if your gut's messed up, I can guarantee you have an acidic system. They go together. So now okay, that's another great place for cancer. And I can tell with your gut's messed up that you're not exercising. All the other things that equal health are not happening, and you're going to get sick. So ideal, cancer is a seed. It's like a seed. There's a healthy environment where it can grow because we all have cancer in our bodies. There's a healthy environment that you create, a soil that you create where it can grow, and there's an unhealthy. Just like on the planet, there's seeds that will grow in Mexico and there's seeds that will not grow in Mexico. Okay? So what I've done with cancer patients is easy. It really is easy. You create an unhealthy environment for cancer. An unhealthy environment for cancer, which is ozone. Ozone's really good at it. And a rocking immune system. But you know what an immune system does? It produces hydrogen. Okay? It produces hydrogen. Did you know that white blood cells, that's what they do? They wrap around the invader, the pathogen, and they release hydrogen to kill it. Hydrogen peroxide. I'm sorry, not hydrogen. Hydrogen peroxide. So, I actually sat with a glass of wine one night. I was in Santa Cruz, and I had a large screen. I'm a nerd. I had a large screen at this vacation rental that we were doing a treatment cycle. And I had a woman there she was sick. I did her blood cell, and she was sick. And so I mean, her white blood cells were so active though, because she was a healthy person but was sick. So she had a rocking immune system. And I put a live blood cell on a petri dish. I sat and watched it. I watched her immune because they chase the pathogens around, and then they wrap around them and destroy, yum 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 yum, eat them up, and then they go looking for another one. It was cool. I had a really fun night that night. Yeah. Bacteroidetes feed on soluble fiber such as, I already did that. Managing out LPS is which is the number one, and is synonymous with endotoxins responsible for inflammation in the gut and the brain. And by the way, lipopolysaccharides is why that's the endotoxin that creates the inflammation that causes leptin and insulin resistance, that causes weight gain no matter how much you exercise and reduce your calories. While the endotoxic problem is there, that problem is going to be there. LPS components of harmful bacteria such as LPS is sufficient to cause behavioral abnormalities associated with autism, with anxiety when they are injected into otherwise healthy mice. I can give you a really bad problem, a mental health problem, simply by injecting LPS into you. All I need to do is inject about a cc of it, and you will have a really bad day. I can take a healthy person and do that. Which reminds me, I need to pay Jessica the other $50 I owe her. I sleep with one eye open when I owe her money. No.
You just told me that, and I just thought, when you said this is how sick my mind is, you just told me that, I was like, I wonder if I get some LPS from her.
I'm taking away the 10% discount. You guys keep it up. All right. It also drains the immune system and can be the underlying cause of recurring colds and infections. Like when I have my people that call me and go, I get everything that goes by, Genita. It's LPS. I give them the endotoxin test. There's the one out of Cyrex that tests for all of them, but it's always the endotoxin issue. LPS is lipopolysaccharides managed by lactobacillus. When lactobacillus ferments LPS in the large intestine, a byproduct is hydrogen peroxide, which also helps to manage out bad bacteria. See, so in stress and bad diets and all this, reduce LPS, and when you don't have reduce lactobacillus goes. High stress, I can tell you don't even have to talk to me. I can do a stool analysis and tell you if there's the LPS factor in there. If you're low lactobacillus, you'll have high LPS. It's the number one bacteria that manages it out. Where'd he go? To the bathroom, I guess. Gut-derived LPS are critical to the development and progression of chronic low-grade inflammation and metabolic diseases. Stress lowers lactobacillus. How did I know that? What causes bacterial dysbiosis? Everybody today. You know what's funny? Back in the day when you and I met, hardly anybody, this is chemtrails and the diet going just every day getting worse and worse and worse, and the food chain getting worse and worse and worse. Rarely did anybody have bacterial dysbiosis. These days, it's rare that I find somebody that doesn't have it. Rare. Like everybody has it now. So I just treat everybody for it now. I mean, I'll run the tests anyway, but I still just treat everybody for it because why waste time when I know the tests are going to come back bad? The guts are just, you know, they're winning. I'm telling you. The culling committee, I call them. The population culling committee is winning. So what causes bacterial dysbiosis? Antibiotics. Some beneficial bacteria has been made extinct through their use. And actually, I mean extinct. Like you can't even repopulate. You have to eat it to repopulate it. Conveniently raised, conventionally convenient, same thing. Conventionally raised meat, because you're eating antibiotics all day long. If you're eating meat from conventional farms, you're eating antibiotics all day long. So that's killing your gut. GMO foods kill your gut. In fact, GMO foods, 30 years ago when they brought, well, 86 when they brought GMO onto the scene, just took a couple of years of all kinds of scientists were coming out saying, the GMOs are going to create unknown bacteria. We're going to have an unknown bacteria, new bacteria proliferating on the planet, and it's going to start killing people, and antibiotics aren't going to do any good. Guess what? It's happening. It's happening. People are dying, and the official cause of death, unknown bacteria. You can't make, and besides we're in an antibiotic void world anyway now, they're not working anymore. Our systems have created, you know, defenses against them. So superbugs against them. So people are in trouble, you know. But that's actually why I love, you know, the ozone work, because, you know, ozone is in this program because ozone doesn't, you know, it kills all pathogens. There's a layer of, you know, healthy tissue has a enzymatic layer that protects it from ozone. Okay, like your skin. You know, you don't, you know, it has an enzymatic layer that protects. Unhealthy pathogens do not. So that's how ozone is selective, and it will kill any pathogen. Virus, fungus, yeast, pathogen, bacteria, lipopolysaccharides, all of it. Kills all of it on the spot, no discussion.